Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of Dania. Today's video I am continue a little bit on the dog ride. I managed to get like the first scene stage finished, and I recorded it, so I thought I would share it with you guys and hear your guys' thoughts on it, or maybe you had some suggestions or whatnot. So basically what I'm doing here is that I'm doing the prep work. I will in a few minutes read the storyline of what it is I will create in this video. Something I will not show in these videos is trigger work. I will explain what I am gonna do, but I will do the trigger work off camera, because to get the best frame rate and no interference with the lags, or just I just want to do it totally free of all that stuff. And I also managed to finally get a decent frame rate into the park again. It's not tanking as much. I can finally ride a coaster or a ride without it messing up my entire computer. So I am motivated, and I want to continue now. I got a little bit of how do you say, I'm just happy that I figured out a solution on the frame rate problem, which was basically just me removing a lot of the windows with all the billboards behind from the spooky pack. Apparently it does take a lot of your frame rate, so don't overuse them as I did. Just a tip for you guys. Back to the dog right here. So I'm gonna read a little story, and what I'm reading is basically, as I said, is what I'm gonna create, just scene by scene. I'm quite satisfied on the turnout so far, and I must say that I did this in 4 or 5 hours in over 2 days, and I really thought that I had a groove, and I just kept on going, and this was the end result of the first part here. So I'm quite satisfied. When I first started, it was actually quite fun building all this stuff here, because when I first started, it was like starting on the spooky pack all over again. I only use a few props from the spooky pack when I build my blueprints, which is basically just the small props. So getting to build with the spooky pieces again is quite challenging, and it's fun again. It feels like it's a whole new game of some sort, especially the broken wall pieces, and just the animatronics and stuff. I'm having a lot of fun with this dog ride already, and I hope and I have a good feeling that this is gonna end well. And I also need a narrator. I have some people in mind that I want to ask and stuff. And also the triggers, there's gonna be triggers, but it's not gonna be any crazy trigger work as you see all the other crazy people do in this community, because I am not a trigger man. So it's gonna be minimum trigger work, or at least when I want to have it, because there is a narrator that explains a lot of what's going on, so that will help it a lot. But yeah, guys, let me read you a part of the story, which you will see me create here in this video. So let me get my story voice on here. No, okay. Once upon a time there was a wicked sprite. Indeed, he was the most mischievous of all sprites. One day he was in a very good mood, for he had made a mirror with the power of causing all that was good and beautiful, when it was reflected therein, to look poor and mean, but that which was good for nothing and looked ugly was shown magnified and increased in ugliness. In this mirror, the most beautiful landscapes looked like boiled spinach, and the best persons were turned into frights or appeared to stand on their heads. Their faces were so distorted that they were not to be recognized, and if anyone had a mole, you might be sure that it would be magnified and spread over both nose and mouth. All the little sprites who went to his school, for he kept a sprite school, told each other that a miracle had happened, and that now only as they thought it would be possible to see how the world really looked. They ran about with the mirror, and at last there was not a land or a person who was not represented distorted in the mirror. So then they thought they would fly up to the sky and have a joke there. The higher they flew with the mirror, the more terrible it grinned. They could hardly hold fast. Higher and higher they still flew, nearer and nearer to the stars, when suddenly the mirror shook so terribly with grinning that it flew out of their hands and fell to the earth, where it was dashed into 100 million and more pieces. Some of these pieces were hardly so large as a grain of sand, and they flew about in the wide world. And when they got into people's eyes, there they stayed, and the people saw everything perverted, or only had an eye for that which was evil. This happened because the very smallest bit had the same power which his whole mirror has possessed. Some persons even got a splinter in their heart, and then it made one shudder, for their heart became like a lump of ice. Some of the broken pieces were so large that they were used for window panes, through which one could see not one's friends. Then the wicked sprite laughed till he almost choked, for all his tickled his fantasy. The fine splinters still flew about in the air. A little bit story time here, guys. Hope you got it all. But what I read here is basically what I want to create. I'm gonna try and make this first little room you go into, where I I make the introduction to the story, and then I'm gonna make this little school room where I have these shadow animatronic guy, and then I make a little animatronic spooky guy, which is gonna be the sprite. And then after that, I am making it, turning it outside, and I've used the I'm using the star panels to kind of make this sky image, and then have the animatronics outside going up, and then I'm gonna have kind of this mirror smashing to the ground, where you see all the splinters come up, and then have this sort of wind or wind with, I don't know, maybe make it with snow or dust to make feel the splinters are going down with the wind. So yeah, that is basically what I'm gonna do, but I'm probably gonna mention a little bit more here in the end of the video, guys. So I hope you will enjoy the video and the music. See you in the end, guys. Bye. What's up, guys? Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the music. It was a little bit different from what I usually choose, but I thought it was fitting for this kind of video. So you got a little bit of a mix, but yeah, not enough talk about that. What I'm doing here is I'm making this scene where I want to have these spooky animatronics guy to I trigger them so they gonna like fly up like the story says, and then I haven't figured out a way. Maybe have something that drops down and then have this mirror effect with the glass that is smashing, and then after it smashes I'm gonna have this wind, as I said, with snow or dust or something that symbolizes splinters, and then you see the splinters like go forward in front of you into the story, which I'm also gonna make. I'm gonna make this village only with facades, fronts of the buildings, of the houses. After you go into this kind of tunnel here and next to the coaster doors I've put down, where the real story is gonna be told. As I said, I'm probably gonna skip a lot of stuff in the story because I don't want to make it too long. And I of course don't want to make it too short either. I want to make like a midway of it. So I try to find the things in the story that I can make in this right here with the things we have in the game, and also still have the story presentable enough for the scenes I make. As I said, I know it's gonna be a narrator on and stuff, and that's probably gonna explain a lot of the stuff going on. But still, I do still want to have the trigger points I put still to show. So either way, that if you for some reason don't hear the narrator, you still get the story told by the things you get seen around. So that's kind of my thing. I wanna try figure out what to do. But for now, this is kind of basic what I'm gonna do here. This is basically first gonna be the first triggers that comes here at this part, where they kind of gets away from the sprite's hideout or castle or cave, whatever we're gonna call this. And then it begins to go outside, because of course if they're flying to the sky, they have to be this open air. And then for all my 3,000 plus hours I've had in this game, I have never ever used those star panels. So this is my first time I used them, and I must say I kind of understand why people use them as so much. I've also used them as another place in the park for a flat ride in the main street area, which I will show at some point. But it really gives a nice effect. So it amazes me that I haven't really used that piece until now. But I'm definitely gonna use that piece, that panel, a lot in this dark ride here. So, but yeah, as I said, not a lot of trigger work. The story is gonna be told as soon as you go down, and then all the story, as I said in the beginning, is gonna be told. And then as soon as you come here, I hope that I can, how do you say, synchronize them together, the ride and the story, with the scenes. Of course, that's my main goal of it all. Because as I said, not too long, but not too short either. But I still want the whole story to be explained in a short summary. So that's also my goal. I did make a little pre-scheduled drawing-ish and read a little bit of the story and find some of the things I could make. And yeah, I'm also gonna create the two characters, which we're gonna hear more of and such. But also, as I said in the previous video where I made the station, I'm not sure what I'm gonna show of making the dog ride here. As I said, I felt like I had a groove going, so I just recorded it and it came out with this. So don't expect too many videos of the dog ride. I hope that I can get as many as I can out of them, but I'll still if I knew I can get the mojo going, then I will definitely hit the record button and start building stuff so you guys can follow the process, and give me suggestions and your feedback and all that stuff. So, but yeah, guys, there's a little bit of cinematic shots here at the end where you can see the end result of it. And as you also can see, there's not so much stutter and lag here at the cinematics, which is I so appreciate this now. Maybe it took 2 or 3 days to keep it running, a lot of hours too, but it was all worth it, I have to say. So, but yeah, guys, leave a like if you think the video deserves it, and let me hear your guys' thoughts on how you think the start of the dog ride is. Yeah, have an awesome day, guys, as usual. See you in the next video. Bye.